There's maybe some, but none like you. We'll be understood, cause you're the truth. Give me a few more of the blue.
Want to get started?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Hi, guys.
So, we're talking today, Coffee with the K's, week number 2. We just want to go over a couple announcements before we get started. One, we want to remind everybody about May 18th, 5 to 8 at the Williamston office. We are going to be having a celebration for 5-year anniversary. It is a big thank you to the community of Williamston. We couldn't have done it without you. We care about you guys so much, and we're so glad that you guys like us at the office as well. So it's a big celebration. We're going to be giving away prizes. We're going to be giving away goodies and bags.
A year's worth of massages.
A year's worth of massages is going to get raffled off. A hypersphere. I know you guys love it when we use the hypersphere on those tough trigger points and muscle pains.
We're going to give one of those away.
We're going to give one of those away as well, plus a bunch of bulletproof coffee stuff. So come on out. Just come out, say hi, put your name in the drawing. We just want to thank Williamston for everything that you guys have done for us, and we just want to thank you guys. So
yeah, don't forget that.
Another announcement.
The next thing is next Friday, you guys can join us, and we're going to do grocery shop with the docs. And we are going to go to Whole Foods and just take you guys through the store. We're going to show you how to grocery shop, how to put meals together, how to shop just a little bit healthier. We're going to show you what some of our go-to favorite products are, and how not to fall into some of the traps, because we love Whole Foods, but like any grocery store, there are some traps that you can fall into, and all of a sudden you're not shopping so healthy. So we're just going to kind of take you through. You do have to sign up for that, so you can either call the office and get on our list, or you can do it through the event just by clicking that you are going to let us know. And if by chance you've already clicked that you're going and you know you can't go, just make sure that you let us know so we can open up that slot, because we don't have a whole lot of slots left. So make sure that you sign up for that event.
And the spots are filling up, so we only have a few left. So make sure if you want to go, because it is coming up Friday, you do it. I just want to reiterate that. Okay, so today's topic, I know we've kind of brushed over this in our past Coffee with the K's.
We've talked about it a little bit. And
we're going to try to go over it very quick and simple today, because we don't want to just keep hyping into the same thing. But it is important to kind of clarify ketogenic diets. It's very important for us to understand what the do's and don'ts are, and how it can be dangerous, how it can be bad, and how most people actually kind of start doing it wrong. And we want to tell you why we do it, when we do it, and what the purpose of it would be, because it's not for everybody.
We're seeing a lot of things, a lot of information out there, and so we just want to make this very simple for you. So if you're seeing some information, you've got the full story, and you can kind of decipher on what's right and what's not right. So we really want to break this down. And we hear about ketogenic in the office, people that are trying it, because we've promoted it ourselves. And so we want to make sure that you have the full picture and you really understand ketogenic before you decide to jump into it. So we've titled today, Keto, You're Doing It Wrong.
You're doing it wrong.
Because of all of the things that we're hearing, we want to just make sure that we are really clarifying some of this for you.
When we hear some of the foods that people are putting together and eating, we're going, that's not the goal.
Okay. We feel
So,
like we got to address it.
So first, we're gonna debunk some of the myths. Okay.
Some of the things we're hearing, we want to make sure that you understand. Yes or no?
Myth number 1: if you do keto, you're gonna lack vitamins and minerals, essential vitamins and minerals.
Because you're not getting enough.
Because you're not getting enough vegetables.
Is what they say.
Okay, so that's myth number 1. That's not true. The reason why it's not true is because you're supposed to be eating 75% of your plate should be vegetables. Okay, they should be colorful, rich vegetables. Yes, some of the starchy ones we stay away from, but it should be full of vegetables. If your plate is just bacon, you're doing it wrong, okay? So the myth that you're not getting enough vitamins and minerals only is if you're doing keto wrong, which is why we're having this video.
Yes.
Okay, so vegetables are key. There is no nutritional way to live where vegetables isn't the primary source of your food supply, because we need the fiber, we need the nutrients, and we need the minerals. So that is the most important part.
Absolutely. The next myth is that it's very high protein. This is not true, and it shouldn't be.
No.
I've seen a lot of people with a lot of meals on Pinterest that I'm like, oh my gosh, no, this is wrong. This is very much Atkins. So you have to be careful. Keto should really be mild protein, and just know that if you are eating an excess of protein, it is turning into sugar, and you are still getting an insulin response, and that means you are not in ketosis.
So you're not just loading up on meats, okay, because they have a low net carb. So that's the other myth that we want to make sure people understand. It is not lack of vegetables, and it is not overindulgence of protein. It's mild protein. Actually, you reduce your protein a little bit when you do keto.
Exactly. The other thing is it's a fad diet. People say, be very careful, don't jump on the train here because this is just another one of those fads. That's not exactly true.
It's not exactly true. Of course, it's extremely popular now, and then you have a few websites that go out there and say, hey, you can eat bacon and not exercise and lose weight.
And everybody's like, all
right, that's great. Well,
sign me up.
That's not good, okay?
No, that's still not right.
That's still not right. We don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But it's not a fad. It's been around forever. They've treated children with epilepsy for 100 years. There's plenty of research done where people have been on these diets, regardless of weight plans or anything like that, because that's not even the issue with ketogenic. Is it's actually been very beneficial to people with neurological disorders. So even hospitals today, Cleveland Clinic, places they use it, and it's been around for a long time, tested, and we know that it is safe to do because there's been so many people of all different ages on it. Which kind of leads into my next point. Because everyone's like, is it safe? Well, if you do it right, it's extremely safe. And remember, this is a physical adaptation that humans have. It's a huge benefit. I mean, opposable thumbs, ketogenic, that we can go into nutritional ketosis and not starve and still have brain function so that we can plan our next move if food is scarce or if things aren't going in the right direction. This is a huge advantage that humans have. So to say that ketosis is not a safe thing, we wouldn't exist. Humans would have died off long ago. Now, just because ketosis is so physically advantageous for us, and because the Inuit, you might say, well, I'm not an Inuit, so I don't need to just live off of whale blubber and fish, and I'm not a hunter-gatherer anymore, so why do we need to do that? Well, it's true. Now we have a diversity of foods available to us, which is a good, positive thing, but there may be some reasons why we should add elements of this into our diet plan.
So the next thing that people have been talking about is the risk of diabetic ketoacidosis.
Yeah.
This just really isn't so. This is something that a lot of people, they hear keto and they start to associate it immediately with ketoacidosis.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I want to get into this just real quick. Diabetic ketoacidosis and ketosis are not the same thing. Remember, diabetic ketoacidosis is a pathology as a result of a metabolic problem such as diabetes type 1, diabetes type 2, uncontrolled, starvation, if you actually are starving yourself, anorexic, or just lack of food, your organs shut down, your body shuts down, and alcoholism is another major cause. Yeah. There is not a risk of diabetic ketoacidosis from nutritional ketosis. Extremely rare cases, unknown cases. Maybe there has been low-carb diets where a few people have had issues, but they maybe were lactating mothers or they're going through other issues, which is another key. You should be if you're ever going to make a diet change that's going to be a little bit more on the strict sides for therapeutic purposes, you should be consulting your doctor about this to make sure that they eliminate risk factors that you wouldn't be into these categories. But a normal, healthy person can go into nutritional ketosis with no issue whatsoever, well below any kind of diabetic ketoacidosis. That is something that is driven by not being able to remove the ketones from the body. That's a problem with the body, or glucose. So most people that have diabetic ketoacidosis, they actually have a high level of glucose in their blood and ketones in their blood because their body thinks they're starving because of the pathology that they have.
And you have to remember that keto is not putting you into any sort of a starvation mode.
You're still eating.
It is really just the lack of insulin triggering foods.
Right.
So you're not in any kind of a starvation mode. Yeah. And you have to understand too that the medical community as a whole all agrees that ketoacidosis is not a risk of ketosis, nutritional ketosis. And
not ketoacidosis. Nutritional ketosis is...
Did I just say that?
Yeah.
Okay, say it again.
Nutritional ketosis is not a risk of diabetic ketoacidosis. Everyone agrees. Whether they think you should eat a keto diet or not, even if they're against keto diets, it's not a risk.
It sounded right in my head.
Yeah, it sounded right in my head. I knew what she was trying to say, but...
Thanks. Anyway.
So we just wanted to clear that up. Just like diabetes type 1 and diabetes type 2 are not the same things and never should really be in the same conversation. Right. That's the same way diabetic ketoacidosis and nutritional ketosis really shouldn't be in the same conversation either. So we just wanted to clear that up. So those are the debunked myths. that you can't eat vegetables, you need to eat vegetables. That is your primary source of everything, is the vegetables.
Yes.
Risk of diabetic ketoacidosis. No, it's not a risk of diabetic ketoacidosis. High protein, that all you're going to eat is meats and bacon and things like that. No, that's not the case.
Right.
You need to reduce your protein intake.
Yeah.
And
yes, it's a fad, but it's been around for a very long time.
It's been around for a very long time.
It's just starting to gain some popularity.
And a lot of the science is gaining some traction as well. So that's why there's a lot of interest in it as well.
Yeah.
So let's move on to why go keto. Okay, so why would you go keto?
We're going to talk first about some of the health coaches and the trainers that are kind of talking about it and what they're saying about it. And
okay,
let's go there first before we go into why going, because some people are opposing it that I think that we need to address why they might be opposing it first.
Well, a main thing that I think a lot of personal trainers, health coaches, nutritionists are opposing is because the main goal, and the reason why we promote keto as a platform, because the main goal of every person should be eating a whole foods diet, okay? A well-balanced diet where you're eating a lot of vegetables, you get your protein, you have your fats, you have your fiber, you can eat some of the starchy carbs, you balance everything out. That's the goal. That's sustainable, and that's how you're going to be successful long term. That's what we know has worked for years and years and years and will continue to work. So when you get into these strict, extreme patterns, it freaks everybody out. So they're right. The goal is that well balanced. So the issue becomes, well, why would you ever do keto if the goal is this whole food balance? And that's why I want to go into why you would ever use it as a tool. Why would you cycle it? Because it's true. They're right. The goal is whole food, balancing your blood sugar, kind of having lots of options, using a diversity of food. That is true. So when they look at the negatives, they know people, one, are going to find a food that they like, and that's, if they're like, oh, this fits my keto, and then that's all they're going to eat.
Yeah.
They know that strict diets are not sustainable and will not be successful long term. So it's important for everyone to understand that this is part of a lifestyle journey, and there's reasons to use this as a tool. But listen to your nutritionists, listen to your coaches. They're looking out for you. They want to balance everything out. But we want everyone to understand on why this might be something you might want to use.
Yeah. So just like he said, first of all, keto is a tool to kind of get you to the next step. It is not a lifestyle. It is a cycling tool that you just kind of go in and out of for the most benefits, okay? There are times when ketogenic will be your lifestyle that your doctor has prescribed to you, and that is if you have like some extreme medical conditions or some neurological reasons that, ketogenic may become your lifestyle. However, for an average person, we use this as a tool to kind of get you to the next level. There are times when we just need to get there. We need something a little bit extreme to get you off of your cravings or something, but it's just a tool.
Yeah.
Okay?
So let's kind of go over the reasons why you would do it, okay?
Yeah.
One, if you're eating a balanced diet, you're exercising, you're at a great weight, there's no reason for it. There's no reason for you to go this extra step unless for some reason you are having some inflammatory problems, pain patterns that don't go away, extreme issues that you just don't have answers for. That's when sometimes you have to change, break systems down, make sure your cellular system is working the way that it possibly can. So that's why you have to change the system that way.
The best way, yeah.
But for the majority of people, why keto can be a jumpstart for you is if you are a severe binge eater, you are sugar addicted, processed foods is all you know, and you don't know where to go. You're like, man, I'm just addicted to all this bad stuff.
Sugar.
I don't feel well. I want to try something else. Well, if you did keto, what that's going to do is it's basically an elimination diet. It's going to get rid of all your inflammatory foods. It's going to get rid of the dairy. It's going to get rid of the grains. It's going to get rid of the gluten. It's going to get rid of the sugar. It's going to get rid of the processed foods. Gone. It's an elimination diet to try to get your body to acquire better foods, to kind of be more satiating because you're increasing your fat intake.
Yeah.
It's going to balance your blood, balance your diet out a little bit that way. So you're not craving throughout the day. It's going to take those cravings down. So if you're a binge eater, sugar addicted, this could be a tool for you to kind of get into that whole food balance diet.
To literally give you a reset. It's kind of the reset button. That's exactly where you need to be. The next thing is if you have kind of stalled out on weight loss, if you have been losing weight and then all of a sudden you're like, I can't lose any more, you hit a platform, or if you just simply cannot lose weight,
Yeah.
then this might be something that you want to kind of incorporate for a little while to just get you over that plateau. This will just completely bypass your body producing any insulin and just give you a little bit of a break.
It's going to change the way your body uses energy altogether. So if for some reason, hormones, inflammatory issues, there are a lot of, issues therapeutically that have just gone kind of wrong. You need to change that system up, okay, to kind of get ahead of it. So that would be another reason to do it, like she said.
Yeah. The other thing is some people...
It's not always a great reason, but...
Yeah. Some people just want to lose weight fast.
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but there's times when it's like, oh my word, I just need to lose some weight. Like,
I want to
let's
get the
just
water weight
get it
down,
off.
get it out of my body.
Then, or if you have something coming up, an event, it's a quick way to lose weight. I'm not going to lie. This is a fast way to burn fat. And one of the things that I love about it is it's not going to break down your muscle. So it's going to break down your fat, but it's going to leave the muscle intact. So when you get off of keto, you still have your metabolism.
Still revved up.
You've revved it up. A lot of people will, they'll really cut down their calories, and then they'll be like, oh, I just dropped, 10 pounds. And then they get off of their diet, and they're like, well, crap, I just gained it back super fast because you actually broke down a lot of your muscle, and now you don't have the same metabolism.
Yeah.
So that's why ketogenic is used for a lot of people that are trying to lose weight rather quickly.
Yeah, which isn't always the great idea because, like we said, it's a lifestyle. It can be a tool to jumpstart you into that whole food balance. So the reason why we use this as a tool, the other main reason, if you are addicted to sugary foods and you just have a hard time, like you think you're balancing things out, but then you look at your plate and it's a majority starchy things, processed things, this will kind of change your cravings, okay? Because you're now going into just vegetables, mild protein, adding some fat to your diet. So it will kind of get your appetite going in the right direction so that when you do start adding in those starchier quinoas, rice, things like that, you're adding in you're used to eating better foods. You're not going to ever go back to the junk processed stuff. That's the one thing, that's the lifestyle part of it, okay? As you add in more of that balanced approach, more nuts, more seeds, more all those other good things, you're never going back to the junk, okay? And that's got to be the plan of any lifestyle, okay? It doesn't matter what diet you choose. If you're taking things out that you're planning on going back to, it's going to fail every time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The more that you eat these carbs, you guys, the more that you get a taste for them. So this is why this is kind of nice, because it is giving you a taste again for all of the healthy things. You kind of have to reestablish that,
Yeah.
and make yourself eat them. And when you get off of all of these sugars and these carbs, and you start eating these vegetables, you'll find that your cravings are going to completely change. You're going to start craving them again, and that's exactly what you need to do. You need for your body. You need to get that back in order.
And it's not that carbs are the enemy, because with a balanced diet, we do add them back in. But the key of keto, the one important thing is it really is getting our minds in a ratio that's better in our macros, okay? So we're really understanding that we really don't need as many carbs as we overconsume as Americans, and we actually, the fat that we've eliminated from our diet needs to come up. So it's not like it needs to be fat all day, we have to drink gallons of olive oil, and it's not like we can't eat any carbs. We're going at just understanding that we need a little bit more of that balance. We need less carbs, more fat.
You need to rethink your macros. So when you do this, it really gives you kind of a good baseline.
Gives you a baseline so that you can kind of build off of that.
So now I want to go over with that, saying that what it should look like and what does keto look like. So
everybody's pretty visual, and we've told people she does her nutrition plans, which obviously some people have to do keto. She works with them, and then obviously blood sugar balance is the main goal, and eating a balanced diet
is ultimately the number one goal.
Is ultimately the number one goal.
Yeah. But people envision immediately that we're eating plates of bacon that are just drowning in butter. And that's about it, all day, every day. We're just melting sticks of butter in our coffee and just drinking it. And that's not true. Okay, I want you guys to understand that keto is...
I do put butter in my coffee, but not a stick of butter.
Yeah, we do. Not a stick, just a little bit. So keto is actually lots and lots of vegetables. Okay, there's your fiber. It's going to be mild protein, and it's going to be, it's going to be high fat. And here's the deal. I'm saying this kind of with a little reservation because it's high fat compared to the way that we are thinking about fat lately. Most people are so trained to think that fat is super bad for you, and we haven't eaten fat for so long. Like your yogurt is all fat free and everything that you buy is all fat free. So when I say that it's high fat compared to probably what you have been normally trained to think.
Yeah.
Okay? But it's really not like unhealthily high fat. So I'm going to show you a keto meal. I made this
We're going to
this
show
morning.
you a really good keto meal.
This is going to be breakfast or lunch for us.
In honor of Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah, we made it a little bit Mexican. Okay, let's see if I can get this up here. Here is a keto bowl. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Buddha bowls at all, but this is kind of a play on a Buddha bowl. This has shaved Brussels sprouts, tons of arugula. We have all kinds of different peppers here, green, red, yellow. We've got tomatoes. We have broccoli sprouts. What else did I put in this one? Cucumbers. Then we have little chicken in there, and I just took this on.
Oh, our lime are almost
lose
going.
My lime. I put this over the stove in a little bit of butter with some Mexican seasoning in my chicken, and then I just chopped up a little bit of avocado in the center with chives and cilantro. Oh yeah, there's some broccoli in there as well.
Yeah,
this
broccoli.
all has olive oil just kind of mixed throughout it, and we will just sprinkle over some lime and mix it all up, and there you go.
The main thing I want you to see, look how colorful this is. Okay, this is a vegetable dense plate. It's got olive oil on it, right, to give you your fat. It's got tons of fiber, balances out the carbs. You're getting plenty of carbs with this diet. But this is the way it's supposed to look. The era of one vegetable in the corner of your plate, that's over, okay? That's old news. We want all vegetables in your plate. Add a little bit of protein to it. Add your fat to it, and this is the way that we want every meal to be.
Exactly. It needs to be nice and colorful. Lots of vegetables, you guys. Here's the thing. Some vegetables you can't eat on ketogenic. That doesn't mean that you don't eat these vegetables ever again. That means that right now, as you're on ketogenic and using this as a tool, you don't eat them. Now, here's what you do when you're coming off of keto. This now becomes your base for all of your meals. So if we were coming off, which we're not on keto right now, but I would still eat this, no problem, for a meal. But I would add maybe some black rice to this. I would add some quinoa to it. Maybe, well, sweet potatoes wouldn't go with this one, but that's when you start to add in your high carb sweet potatoes. You can have some berries, throw a little bit of berries in. That's what you start doing now. You start adding in some of your higher carbs. You don't ever, or maybe we would throw this into a siete tortilla and make like tacos out of this.
Add some hummus to it. I love the hummus and guacamole mix. I don't know if you guys are that way, but that's just some weird combination that I like.
Yeah, it's
especially
good
with my Buddha bowls.
So you start to add this.
So
but
this is your
has
option.
To be your base. Okay, this is the thing. You don't go ever back to eating bread and ever back to eating your desserts and things like that, your sweets. This becomes the foundation, and now you just start adding in some of those things that we took away in the elimination, and now this becomes your lifestyle.
Yeah.
Now, we have promoted some ketogenic pizzas and some keto cookies. I have to really help you guys to understand that is not an everyday thing for us. That has to be, you have been on keto, you are keto
You're doing
adapted.
it for a specific purpose, like we talked about, and you need some
you just are ready
things
for
to keep it interesting.
Yeah. It's just a treat now and then. So if there's a holiday or if it's a birthday or something, we'll make keto cookies. But it has to be a very rare occurrence, just like any other sweets that you eat in your daily life. It should be very rare.
Yeah.
So
is it safe? Yes.
Yes.
Do it right. Eat vegetables. Don't eat too much protein. Okay? If you're trying to break your binge, if you're trying to break your sugar habits, this is the way to start. Get used to eating vegetables. And here's the thing about fat. We didn't talk about this, but some vitamins are water soluble.
Oh, yeah.
Some vitamins are fat soluble. Okay? What that means is you need fat with that food for you to fully absorb it, for you to fully process that and get every nutrient out of it. You'll still get some regardless, but that's why you add in a little bit of fat with your diet, because then you'll get everything from those vitamins. Why eat vegetables, especially if you don't like them, if you're not going to get every benefit from them?
You want those nutrients.
So you want those nutrients. And also, fat is a flavor enhancer. You talk to chefs, you go to restaurants, ribeye is kind of the classic they say the best tasting steak, right? The reason why a ribeye is the best tasting steak is because the fat marbles all the way through it. It gives it flavor. So you add those flavors to your food. It's now to start using your spice rack. Start using the things that are intentionally, the purpose is to enhance flavor of things, okay? Food doesn't need to be bland. And we don't usually use our spice rack. Sometimes it goes old, you throw them away, you don't even know when you've used it. Use it. Throw it on those veggies. Throw it in your foods to enhance the flavor of your food, and you're gonna just notice a huge difference, and you'll start craving healthier things.
So, you want to go ahead and address that?
Well, if you're trying to build muscle and you're I wouldn't recommend ever that if you're in a keto state to ever try to build muscle. Okay, that's not what it's for.
If you're going to do keto, keto will cut you.
Well, it can cut, but the whole purpose of this conversation today that I want you guys to understand is there are reasons to jumpstart you in. So if you're in a muscle building phase, you should be in that well-balanced diet where you are getting some of those, maybe a little bit more protein, and you're getting a little bit more of the carb ratio, more of a blood sugar balance. Okay, that is going to be your optimal goal for building muscle. This is a therapeutic tool to hopefully jumpstart you into that phase. Okay, so that was the purpose of today too. Is remember, keto is a cycle. It's a tool at the beginning to get you into that lifestyle of eating whole foods and balancing your diet. So you want to increase your protein. You definitely want to increase a little bit of fuel source if you're really trying to build mass and build up dense muscle.
Yeah. And we can always go over that, Melissa, if that's a
For
concern.
athletes, keto can be a little bit tricky too. So if you are dealing with some of these, maybe you have these inflammatory issues, but you're at a good weight, and we still can do it, but you have to be careful and you should be under guidance. And anytime you do a strict system, make sure that you are under, you plug your doctor in, you let them know what you're doing, and you're being guided along this journey so that you know that you're doing it the right way.
If you are interested in doing keto and you would like help, I just want to let everybody know that we're not accepting any new nutrition patients at this time. However, get on the waiting list because we're looking at June. We're thinking we're going to open that schedule back up, and we can get you back in and you can get on the list so that as soon as we open it, we can get you, on the right track. So make sure that you give us a call and do that. And don't forget, you guys, when we go grocery shopping with the docs, we're going to go over a lot of this stuff to help you understand kind of
how to put these plates together,
how to make this taste good, because the problem with any diet, with anything that people do, is they pick the foods that they like, and if you like bacon, which a lot of you said, oh, you had me at bacon, bacon becomes your staple, and that's not healthy either. Yeah. So you have to figure out...
Not that you can't have a little bit of bacon, it's just that's not going to be your
But you can't do it all the time, and so you need to make sure that you're doing it the right way, and you are not just picking, the carb-free chocolate chips and the carb-free whatever packaged foods, and you're just making that your staple. That's not right either.
And some people will say, like, well, can kids eat this way? Kids can definitely eat this food.
Your family should eat this way,
I'm not saying that they will eat it, but they should
Good luck.
eat it. Good luck. I mean, everybody's used to the macaroni and cheese and all that good stuff. This is just full of good vitamins and minerals and vegetables and fiber, and it's just a great balanced bowl of food.
Exactly.
And obviously with a kid that maybe doesn't need to go through this process, you throw in the starchy stuff. Throw in some quinoa. Throw in the rice. Make it more of a...
Make it into a taco. But,
make it, add the siete shells, things like that. I mean, be creative with it because they can... they don't need to go this extreme, but they definitely can eat a bowl full of vegetables. That should never be an issue.
Exactly. Sometimes we need extreme.
Yeah. So I hope I know we kind of went through a few steps. We wanted to make it simple today, and we didn't want to talk forever because we didn't want to bore you guys this morning. It's going to be beautiful. I think it's going to be close to 80 degrees here in good old Michigan.
He's got some work to do outside.
I got work to do outside. But we just want to help encourage everybody to get into that balanced diet. Add more vegetables. Add more fat than what you're used to. Don't be afraid of heart-healthy fats. Don't be afraid of adding a little bit of fat to your food, cooking your food in some natural fats, ghee, butter, olive oil, coconut oil, all those good things. Keeping your carb ratio down a little bit.
Yep, and that's where if you don't know what are the high-carb foods that you have to stay away from, the high-carb vegetables, the high-carb fruits, then that's where you need to see somebody that can put you on the right path, because I can tell you that Pinterest has got it wrong.
Yeah, and we're seeing...
There are some recipes out there that I just am like, oh, that's so not right. And people say, I am just plateauing and or not plateauing, I'm not even losing, and I'm doing keto, it didn't work for me. You're doing it wrong.
Yeah, you don't want to just
Okay?
eat a bowl
Dairy.
full of hamburger with melted cheese on it, which
You
we've
can't
seen
eat
pictures of.
heavy creamer all the time. You know, dairy turns into sugar. You got to know what turns into sugar in your body, because you look at it and you say, oh, this is dairy. This is not sugar. It turns into sugar. Protein excess turns into sugar. So these are the things that you really might need a little bit of help.
Yeah.
Good, Missy.
So if you're eating healthy and you're doing it right, we want to encourage you, keep doing it right.
Yes.
If you need a little help, you need a little guidance, we're here for you. If you want to try something to kind of jumpstart you because you're just plateauing, or you just don't like healthy foods, and you're like, I'm going to give this a try for a little bit of period. Remember, you have to have an end date in part of that lifestyle plan.
Yes.
So as you use keto as a tool, there is an end date at the beginning. Okay. Then we're here to help. So we just hope you guys have a great Saturday. Please like the page if you liked what we're talking about today. We're going to have another Coffee with the K's next week, 10 a.m.
Yep. It'll be our third one out of our 4-week series. So
Yeah.
we will see you. We'll see you then.
Yeah, make sure you sign up for that Doc's grocery shopping if you'd like to go, because that is next week on Friday.
Yes. Okay.
All right, you guys have a great Saturday. Be healthy.
All right. Bye, guys.